Hi, welcome to the Baby Sleep Magic podcast. My name is Chantel Murphy, and in today's episode I'm actually going to be explaining to you and talking to you about a dark room and how important it is to have a dark room and why. Okay, so my first tip, if you've got a little one that is experiencing difficulty falling asleep, catnapping or early rising, what we need to do is create a dark room. And I'm talking dark, super dark. But this doesn't mean you need to have a dark room for the rest of their life. That's not what we're trying to do. It's not the type of habit I would like you to implement and keep for the rest of their life. What you want to try and do is create a dark room because it helps with the success rate of them going to sleep and staying asleep, and ideally getting a better and longer nap, or better success rate of them sleeping in longer in the morning. And if the room isn't quite dark enough, they generally won't do that because babies and toddlers are very, stimulant. Any opportunity, any bit of light, any bit of anything, they are just going to be alert and aware, and they are just going to be ready to start their day, whether they've had a 30-minute nap or they're ready to start their day at 4:30 or 5 in the morning because the sun has started to come in. So practice makes perfect. Once your little one has started to go to sleep and stay asleep with the really dark room, then over a period of 6 to 8 months, or even a season, if you wanted to give it a whole season, whether it's all of summer, and then at winter time you take the black blinds down and not make it so extreme, you can definitely do that. And as your little one gets older, generally around the age of 18 months to 2 to 2.5 years of age, once they've mastered how to sleep and stay asleep, they will then be able to sleep anywhere, and that doesn't really matter if that room is completely pitch black because they've got the skills that they need, they've had the practice that it requires, and they're capable of sleeping now. But while we're trying to get the best out of them, the dark room is absolutely essential. And when I say dark room, really dark, what you want to do is not be able to see your hand, or certainly be able to read a book in the room when you've got the blinds drawn or the curtains pulled over. So if you are putting your little one to bed and you close the door and you close the blinds and you can still read a book in there, it's just not dark enough, especially if you're experiencing catnapping or early rising, or they're finding it difficult to go to sleep. If you've got a little one that sleeps for 2-hour chunks at a time and sleeping all the way through till 6, 7 in the morning, then don't change a thing. I'm not here to make life more difficult. If it works for you, great. But if you're one of those people that has a little one that is going through that, what you need to do is create a really dark room. There's products out there that you can use. If you don't have the opportunity to have block-out blinds or curtains like that, there are alternates. A car windscreen cover, most mums have one of those in the car, depending on the size of your window. They're really good. You can just tape them to the window. Alfoil, cardboard are two really good options. There is a company out there called the Grow Company. They sell blinds, black blinds, and they've got suction caps, and they stick to the window with the suction cap. So they're really, really user-friendly. They're removable. So you can, if you're renting, you can take them with you. If you're going away on holidays, you can take them with you. If you're, doing sleepovers at Nan and Pop's or anywhere else, you can take them with you. So they're really good. I have had people in the past, clients of mine, that have used black contact on the window, what you would use for school books. And look, it's pretty extreme, but it definitely works. So yeah, like as a side note, babies up until the age of 2.5 are not afraid of the dark. So that's the thing. The darker you can get that room for the first couple of years of their life, the better. Because they're not afraid of that door being closed. They're not afraid of being in that bedroom. They're not afraid of their cot, or they're not afraid of their surroundings. They have no sense of fear at this point. So the darker you can get that room, the better. And that means if you're using a night light, turn it off. If you've got any salt lamps or something in there, turn it off. They don't need it. It's just a distraction. If you've got any monitor lights or heaters or air conditioning with little lights on them, cover them over with a piece of blue tack or a piece of tape, because 1 a.m. a light like that could be just enough as a distraction for them to wake up and find it difficult to go back to sleep, because they've become stimulated by this little light that they're fixated on and can't kind of switch off from. So look, I hope that gives you a bit of an overview of how dark a dark room can potentially get. I do have an example of this. I have done a video of this on my Instagram in my story highlights, and it's just under dark room. And it just gives you an example of what I assumed as a first-time mum was a dark enough room. I had pulled the blinds closed and I put Noah down to bed, and obviously it didn't work. So And then I show you an example of what it looks like with the blinds drawn and with the door closed, and it physically shows you how dark that bedroom can get. So you can always go on there and have a look as well. So if you do find this information helpful, please feel free to share it with another mum or a friend, as that's how this podcast gains the exposure and it gives us the opportunity to help a lot more families and mums out there. And also, if you do have any questions or you've got any queries, just feel free to drop me a DM on Instagram as well. Always happy to help. Thanks again for listening, and I will speak to you again in the next podcast.